It is time for Around the 412 with Smitty and Tyler.
Welcome back to another episode of Around the 412. I am Tyler. With me, as always, is my co-host Smitty. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Around the 412. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. If you're not watching there, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video or when we go live occasionally. And also check us out on the listening platforms as well and follow us there, like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, where you find the podcast. And in every episode, you will find in the description all the links to our great sponsors, as well as Year 8 of Rocking Around the 412. It's our Christmas fundraiser, where over the past 7 years, we've been able to raise, what's the total? $36 something thousand.
I'd have to go into my notes app here.
Apologize, but it's a lot of money, and with the help of everybody that's donated, we've been able to provide children in the local Pittsburgh area 177 kids, actually, the Christmas they always deserved. And the GoFundMe is only part of it. We also partner with the East Rochester Salvation Army and adopt kids off of their angel tree. So in grand total, it's hard to find out how much there's actually been raised in the years.
Yes, so through the GoFundMe prior to this year was $36,853. We've raised 570 so far this year. So we're over 37,000. Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, the GoFundMe link is going to be in the description of the show now until December, I believe we said 13th, is going to be the cutoff date for the GoFundMe. And then the East Rochester, like I said, the Salvation Army Angel Tree, that's going to be kicked off sometime in the fall. But if you want to share the GoFundMe, donate, the link is below. I also wanted to ask you, who has 2 hitless first innings against Paul Skenes in back-to-back years in the All-Star game? This is more a visual effect for those that are watching on YouTube, just because I had a card on my desk.
I think Aaron Judge is the only one that's faced him both years.
Yeah, I know. That's why. I had an Aaron Judge card on my desk, and I felt like I had to bring that up right away because of that fact. But yeah, Aaron Judge, not to jump right into it, but we kind of are. Aaron Judge hitless again against Paul Skenes in the All-Star game.
Dude, like, you got Paul Skenes pitching in this starting in this All-Star game today. Second straight year that he's done so. Only been in the majors for 2 years. You got something special in him, obviously, and you just had Oneil Cruz put on an absolute show in the home run derby. Now, he didn't win it, but just in terms of like impressive moments within a home run derby, like it was very Josh Hamilton of the Rangers, like the year where he just put on a show but didn't end up winning because he got gassed at the end. Like, that's kind of how I felt about Oneil Cruz last night. Like, probably 4 of the most 5 impressive home runs that were hit were Oneil Cruz home runs. One going 513 feet. That's why he was in that event. Like, for everybody that was like, what, he's not in the top 10 of home runs. He's not playing well this year. Like, all this stuff. Like, he was built for this event to take place, and he makes it more fun. Just like his skill set is catered to what this is. So, had a lot of fun last night seeing that. Had a lot of fun watching Skenes pitch that first inning. And that's what we got as Pirate fans right now, is those 2 things to take away from this 2025 season, which sucks. Great for them. And I think it kind of puts it on a national spotlight, what Pittsburgh has and also what Pittsburgh doesn't have at the same time. Like, I really think that this thing is coming to the forefront, especially with all this discussion, like Rob Manfred just like openly talking about the salary cap on Pat McAfee's show this week as well. Like, man, I'm telling you, it's going to get really ugly, I think, in 2027, and I'm curious to see what road we go down. But yeah, the last couple of days as a Pirate fan, not watching the Pirates has been very fun the last couple of days.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the home run derby, and we've discussed this off air. We may have mentioned it on air a little bit last week while we were talking about Cruz being in the home run derby. But like, the home run derby, as far as all-star events go in other sports, like, that's our favorite one across all the major sports that you can have for those events. And I feel like the whole All-Star weekend is the best in the MLB because of the not only just the home run derby, but the actual game that's taking place. Now, baseball does have the benefit of being the sport that you can play pretty much full speed in an all-star game, and it's not going to like injure you necessarily. I mean, you could potentially, but I'm not saying that you can't. But it's not necessarily a game where it's like you have to take some off just because you're playing in an all-star game and it's not as serious. So by that, I mean, it's just fun week in general for the All-Star week. But then when you have guys from the Pirates contributing to that week and starting last night with Cruz in the home run derby, I mean, he was absolutely smashing balls. I know that he didn't end up winning, but I feel like despite Cal Raleigh winning, Oneil Cruz, especially his first go-around, had the most impressive moment of the night. I mean, especially considering that 513-foot home run. He's an absolute freak. This is why I wish like the Ellie De La Cruz would have been in it as well. Like we talked about it last week. I don't care if they deserve to necessarily be an all-star statistically, looking at their WAR, looking at their WRC plus. That's not what the home run derby is. I just want the most athletic freaks when it comes to hitting home runs in that tournament. And Cruz fits.
Well, that's why it'd be cool to see Judge do it if he ever wanted to.
Sure.
Eugenio Suarez probably should have been in it. I don't know if he I saw the Diamondbacks like post a picture of him after Jazz Chisholm hit 3 home runs, and I don't know if that was like Suarez wasn't even. That's wild if they didn't even ask him to do it.
Yeah, that is wild. Also, what did you think of Chisholm hitting 3 home runs and basically saying like I was not going to hurt my swing?
Yeah, then why do it? Like that's that's my question is. I'm not surprised by the performance or lack thereof. I think he's kind of built specifically for Yankee Stadium with the way that setup is. It didn't surprise me that it didn't translate to Truist, but yeah, I mean, like whether he
also
felt
am
like
built
that
to play on a T-ball field.
whether he felt like that before the performance or only because of how the performance went, I don't know. But if that's the true feeling, like you're taking an opportunity away from somebody else. So like, why even do it if that's truly how you feel?
Yeah, it was kind of dumb, but nonetheless, the event was great. Oneil Cruz was great, and it did shine a light on despite what Cruz can be sometimes when it comes to statistics, what kind of talent you do have from Oneil Cruz and what kind of player that they have to invest in. They haven't invested in him yet, but they could potentially invest in. And that's just talking about the home run derby. Then you go to, as of recording this tonight.
I want to say one more thing about Cruz before we move on to Skenes, because I think, and this isn't to necessarily make an excuse for him because I don't agree with it. You wish you could see the buy-in all the time, even when things are bad. But, part of me has to wonder how much different it would be for Oneil Cruz on a good team. Like if there was more buy-in from the Pirates to put a supporting cast around him, like because how much of this is just motivation?
I mean, losing isn't fun. Why do you?
Yeah.
And I am not going to. And I feel like I have tried to never be this type of fan or type of sports fan in general, but I am not going to try to judge a player for playing poorly while they're on a bad team. Because I understand that playing on a bad team is probably tough mentally. And I know a lot of people will say they're professionals, that shouldn't matter. I'm like, but they're also human. So it's going to. And if you're not just on a bad team, but a bad team that's not going to try to improve, that's even harder, I feel like, for the Pirates players specifically.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. Like you'd like to think like, you're able to overcome that individually and hopefully be a part of why they're not, you know what I mean? Like him kind of lead the ship to not being bad and just show up every day, do your work, and hopefully it turns the ship around. Talk about the Pirates, but so again, I don't want to absolve him of blame here with this, but I do just want to say like, should we expect individuals to buy in when the organization doesn't? I think that's kind of the overarching point of what I was trying to get at there. But you were starting to talk about Skenes today.
Oh yeah, well Skenes, like I said, as of recording today, this is the All-Star game. We actually paused, which I don't know if any of you will be able to notice. We paused our Steelers recording.
Hey, friend of the program on the broadcast right now. They got Jack Wilson on the screen because Jacob's in the field.
Yeah, we were actually just talking about how we had Jack on our podcast a few years ago, and how Jacob was just starting his freshman year at Grand Canyon University. He hadn't even played in his first season yet as a freshman yet, and now he's starting in the All-Star game. I mean, what a story that became. But yeah, looking at what Skenes is able to do as the starter. We questioned whether he was going to be the starter, but it came out that Zach Wheeler did not want to play in the All-Star game. Little baby about it. But Paul Skenes steps up to the bill. He starts in the All-Star game for back-to-back seasons. He has 2 strikeouts this year. Last year, I was looking at his stat line. I don't know what I thought his stat line was, but I thought he had at least 1 strikeout. No strikeouts last year, 1 walk, but 0 runs. This year, 2 strikeouts, 0 hits, no walks. As I mentioned, Aaron Judge, back-to-back years, does not get a hit on Paul Skenes.
Wasn't Judge hitting 4th last year?
He was, yep.
Because I think that was like the big thing where I was like kind of happy that he walked Soto so he would face Judge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, he was batting 4th. This year he's batting 3rd and cleans the side. And Andrew Filipponi owes somebody a Paul Skenes jersey. And
3 Paul Skenes jerseys.
3 Paul Skenes jerseys. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so impressive to me to watch him do it on a 5-day rotation basis, but also whenever he's doing it against the very best and still performing the way he does. Like, obviously, he didn't strike out Judge either year, and this year Judge just hit a grounder up the middle, but he got 2 strikeouts that were nasty, throwing 100 miles an hour at these guys, doesn't back down from anything. It's just so impressive, and I feel like that being on display to open up the All-Star game, I mean, you're right. People realize what talent the Pirates do possess. But then if they look a little further, they just realize that the Pirates are not doing anything with that talent. And that is the most frustrating part. And we've said it time and time again that they should be building around these guys. They should be building around Paul Skenes while they have them, because let's face it, it's not going to be forever. But while they do, they need to be able to capitalize on it, or at least try to. And they haven't even done that. Like, the All-Star team has put more around Paul Skenes than the Pirates do. And obviously they're All-Stars. But like, it's just the lack of effort. Like, I just don't understand why you can continue to know what caliber of a player you have and still just sit on your hands and do nothing with it. And yet Ben Cherington is still around. He still went through another MLB draft just this past week. And
yeah,
I don't understand how you're allowing him to stay around and make some of these decisions still.
I have a feeling he's sticking around.
I have that same feeling too. If you're going to allow him to enter your or do your draft for you, why are you firing him at the end of the year? Why would you not just do it before the draft? I have felt like it is probably a hard sell to see him being fired by the Pirates. We've talked about it earlier this season, how Derek Shelton was the easier domino to fall, and that fell. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly the Pirates, while they weren't still good, but they were playing somewhat better. And I don't think that helps anything. But at the end of the day,
so apparently he has 2 years after this remaining on his contract. What kind of contract did he sign? So obviously, like, did he even get put out? Did he even get put out when he signed an extension? Like, I don't even remember there even being conversation about him signing an extension.
Mm-mm.
But like, there's no way this is still his first contract. Then he had to have signed an extension at some point. And what the hell did he do to sign an extension? Like that. But yeah, I'm of the mindset that he's not going anywhere. And again, my mind could potentially change depending on how they do this trade deadline, but just based off sitting here right now, knowing the amount of time left on his contract, kind of the way that they approach the draft and everything like that, like, I don't know. Do you think, again, there's other voices at like power here, but do they take a high school arm in round 1? If, like, would Ben Cherington be willing to take a high school arm in round 1 if he knows his job's on the line? Or if, like, there's not some more security. Like, I think you're looking for like an immediate guy. Like, they probably would have gone college bat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think he's got some assurance that he's
also Ben Cherington has not been extended as the general manager for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay, so if it's true that he has 2 years left on his contract, there's no way.
Then he signed like an 8-year deal.
But you're saying even one time he hasn't been extended?
Yeah, according to Google AI, Ben Cherington has not been extended as the general manager for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
he would have had to have signed at least one extension a couple years ago. There's no way we're in year 6. Like that, he signed an 8-year contract the first time. There's no way. He had to have signed. He's probably on his second, or maybe no. Man, this has my mind in a pretzel.
No, Ben Cherington has not received a formal contract extension as the Pittsburgh Pirates general manager since being hired in 2019. Again, this is according to Google AI, but
yeah, I just don't think that they've made it public. He had to have, dude. There's no shot.
But you're telling me that it's so hush hush. Like sports nowadays, we know about almost everything. You're telling me that we don't know that he's.
I'm gonna send Noah Hiles a message right now and say, what do we do? What's going on with this?
Go for it. Tell him to follow me back on Twitter, by the way.
Well, all right, yeah, that's a whole separate thing. What are we doing, Noah?
I don't know. It's been like 6 years.
You should. It's
been as long as Ben Cherington's been GM.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe he made a decision. I'll follow Tyler back when Ben Cherington gets fired.
That's true. But like I said, I'm not trying to say you're wrong, but I'm just saying according to Google AI.
Yeah, that's
there's
something.
Nothing public that has ever been said about him being extended. And if he's never been extended, then that's why I believe it too. It's like we find out almost anything nowadays when it comes to sports, especially contracts.
Well, we didn't know about the like Derek Shelton's like length. We knew he signed an extension, but we didn't know the length or anything of it. So I don't know. I mean, it's a different degree, I guess, but still, yeah.
But
we haven't played
come
Mag
out
yet,
eventually.
Did it? I don't remember seeing the years
that
it was.
Know.
Anyways, one thing we know Ben Cherington is not as a game changer. Play the ad. What's going on, everybody? Smitty from around the 412, and I just want to take a quick second to give a shout out to our folks at Game Changers. Their logo on the screen right now, right above my microphone. Over 2,000 different designs in their catalog. Luxury heavyweight material. I'm wearing one of their shirts right now. Best vintage t-shirts in the game. Head over to gamechanger.la or pick6.la to pick up some shirts. And guess what? Use code AT412. Save yourself $10 on your order every single time. Again, gamechanger.la or pick6.la. Best vintage t-shirts in the game. Check them out.
The extension length is not still unknown.
Yeah, I'd say I don't recall ever coming across it, but
so I mean, I guess that's fair, but still, like, just an extension happened, period.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to do some digging on this and try to figure out.
Also, is Noah even gonna respond? He's at the All-Star game.
Yeah, probably not right now, at least. Anyways, the other thing that I want to talk about, and we're not going to be able to give proper evaluations on this, but the MLB draft did take place. I kind of alluded to it going with a high school arm, but Seth Hernandez out of Corona. Man, the way that people are talking about this kid, like maybe the best prep arm prospect since like 1999, like he's getting some high marks here from some people. Talking about as the most talented player in the draft. A lot of people having him as 1 or 2 just in terms of pure talent. If he hits a ceiling, this is the best player in the class. Kind of seems like the pitching version of going Connor Griffin last year to me. No, I mean, as somebody that like doesn't know, like I'm not going to pretend to know anything about this kid. That's kind of how it came across to me, just reading the evaluations and the way he was talked about.
I think that's fair. I think that it was a solid pick as far as what the player could potentially be goes, but I not to constantly bring this conversation back to Ben Cherington, but you're right. Like picking a high school arm is completely different than even picking a college arm or a college bat. Just picking a high school kid where you know you're not going to see the payoff of this kid for at least like 4 years.
Ideally Cherington doesn't see it at all, but
yeah. Ideally. But like you got to feel some level of security in making that pick if you're going to be the GM of that team and selecting the
unless they just took it out of his hands. Like I is that something to be discussed? Maybe, we'll find out later on down the road. Like this wasn't a Ben Cherington pick. Like knowing that they were going to move on, they didn't give him that control. I know who was the name a lot of people were talking about. Dang, I'm gonna have to go and find it. Justin Horwitz, who's in the organization. A lot of people were talking about him. Kind of running the draft here and his scouting. I'm curious to see if there's anything with that.
I don't know. Also, their second round pick was another high school arm. Not only did they do it in the first round, but they doubled down with a high schooler.
Yes, they did. Justin Horwitz, director of amateur scouting, was hired. And so 24 was his first season with the Pirates. Came over from the Red Sox. Wow, shocker that Ben Cherington brought him in from the Red Sox. But yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah, going high school. I'll tell you what. Like again, not knowing a ton about a lot of these guys, but like I really liked getting a second Jared Jones, somebody that we did see in the College World Series, and I was a little bit familiar with, first baseman. Later on, they got him way later than I thought. Like somebody of his caliber would be drafted. And again, like I'm not a scout. I don't know a lot about these guys, but just like from what I saw, getting him in the 9th round, I was pretty surprised. So I don't know. It's funny going through here on I'm going through the recap on SI. I have it pulled up. He is of no relation to Pirates starting pitcher who is also named Jared Jones. I'm glad that they made that distinction within there in his blurb. But yeah, I mean the payoff for a lot of these guys we're not going to know for quite some time here, and especially the guys at the top of that draft there. Some of these guys might not even sign. Like some of these guys, especially like the high school guys that they drafted, maybe they don't even sign. They end up going to college, and then who knows? We get a comp pick and who knows how that'll turn out. So we'll see. But you know, at least with that first pick, Seth Hernandez getting a lot of high praise for that one. And we'll see if they have to go slot value $7.56 million. Curious to see if they go over slot or if they can get them at slot there.
This is what Jonathan Mayo had to say about the pick on MLB.com. A year ago, the Pirates had the opportunity to take the top high school hitter on the board, and they did so by taking Connor Griffin, now one of the game's best prospects. This time, with the best prep arm on the board, they capitalized by taking Hernandez. He has a fastball that touches the upper 90s, a plus changeup, and feel to spin. He's more advanced than your typical high school right-hander, helping offset the risk often associated with the demographic. So, okay. I mean, he just did what you did, relating it to taking Connor Griffin, like taking the upside of that pick. So I feel comfortable in the pick itself. Who made the pick? I wish he wouldn't be around either by the time this guy sees the MLB.
Yeah, Pipeline had him at 3. Kylie McDaniel of ESPN had him as number 4 in their rankings. So, yeah, I mean, it took a little bit, like those first 2 picks were a little bit, I'm not going to say off the board, but not what people expected. Really cool that Holiday ends up going to Colorado, the son of Matt Holiday. Thought that was pretty cool as well. But, you know, I think that the Pirates are probably a little bit fortunate that Hernandez slid to 6 for them to be able to take. He was in the group of players that I had seen people speculating on, along with like Avia, the shortstop. But yeah, not upset about this. And I don't know how I could be because I don't know anything about this kid. So we'll see how it pans out on the road.
But I mean, this dude probably, I'm assuming that he's going to be coming to PNC Park for a game in the near future. Yeah, he should probably get a selfie with Paul Skenes then, because there's no way that Paul Skenes is going to be a Pirate by the time
might be his replacement.
Honestly, he might be his replacement by the time he makes the MLB. No way. Dude, Paul Skenes is a Pirate.
Someone should make an edited Paul Skenes tweet, like the Martavis Bryant tweet or something like that. That's Jared Jones' replacement, not mine. I'm back, baby.
That'd be funny.
But yeah, I think that's it, honestly, as it relates to the Pirates, unless you have something else that you wanted to discuss.
Nothing in particular. Now that the MLB All-Star game's out of the way, we're closing in on the trade deadline, so curious to see what that looks like. But we still have a couple weeks to talk about that in future episodes to come, but that'll be curious to see who sticks around. We kind of went over that, so if you wanted to get our thoughts on who we think are sticking around, we have a past episode, I think 2 weeks ago, talking about that. So check that out. But yeah, more trade deadline talk for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of the next big domino to fall. And again, maybe we get some answers there. Like if they let Cherington handle the Mitch Keller trade, full confidence Cherington's
not going anywhere.
Back. Yeah. So we'll see. But either way, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Oh, we haven't talked about Tease yet. You know, we were a little bit late on playing that Game Changers ad for a Pirates episode, so kind of threw me off. But yeah, the Pirates just in general, you know, as an organization. Actually, I think that's how I transition on the Steelers one, but we'll do it again. The Pirates, man, they're just getting crapped on all the time, but especially by me today. As an organization, they're just not cutting it. Smitty from around the 412 here. And while I may not have much hair, the hair that I do have will not be cut by anybody besides Keek at Keek's Barbershop. My friend Christian Circle, been with us since day one. Keek's Barbershop, located 401 Burkitch Way, Suite 2 in Beaver, PA. Download the app, The Cut. Book an appointment with Christian today, or you can do walk-in with Tony or Ashley. But again, Keek's Barbershop, 401 Burkitch Way, Suite 2 in Beaver, PA. Go check them out. Old school vibe in there. Absolutely love it. Cannot recommend them enough. Wouldn't go anywhere else. Maybe I'll see you there. And then, yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you were here on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review and subscribe if you're listening somewhere else, Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast from. We are there. Just search around the 412. Do the same thing on all of our socials. Regardless of where you're at, check out the description. All our links there. Save yourself $10 using code AT412 at GameChanger.la or Pick6.la. Book an appointment with Christian, Tony, or Ashley using the app The Cut at Keek's Barbershop. Be sure to do that. And then we haven't yet talked about Marcelo Electric. Right above Tyler right now is the logo. Brandon Marcelo, a.k.a. Boots, his small business serving Beaver, Allegheny, Lawrence, and Butler County. Hit him up, 724-614-0611. Residential, commercial, service calls. He's got you covered. Again, that's Marcelo Electric, 724-614-0611. And then, of course, year 8, rocking around the 412. Talked about the top. We got talked about it yet again. 177 kids have had Christmas provided to them through this mission so far. So we're going to cross 200. We can say that confidently based off what we do every single year. I feel good about saying that. We do the angel tree the last 3 years as well. So donate at least $10. Be eligible to win some prizes. Do not let the GoFundMe description fool you. They're definitely still doing the prizes if you donate at least $10. Please share the mission at the very least. You never know whose eyes and ears you can get on this thing. But already $570 donated for this year's cause. We're pushing towards $40,000 through the GoFundMes since 2018 raised there. But it's hard to keep track of exactly how much is raised. Because if you guys take tags and go out and shop on your own, I'm not asking for receipts. I'm not keeping track of that. So all we know is 177 kids have had Christmas provided to them thanks to this mission since 2018. And that's what matters to us, is that overall number continuing to climb. So thanks everybody so much. It's been a part of that. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Hit us up, everything at Around the 412, including email if you want, for whatever reason, around the 412 at gmail.com. If you want to talk about a sponsorship, if you want more information on the mission, feel free to do that. If you want to ask why I'm on a social media hiatus, had somebody do that as well. So send us an email if you'd like, or you can hit us up on our personals at Weiler_Teach33. And I am, of course, Zachary Smith, PGH. For Tyler and myself, this has been the Around the 412 Pirate Show. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.